I'm Marissa Phillips, and I am an educational studies major in my senior year here at Arizona State University, which I'm incredibly excited about. And I'm sure all of you who are also seniors are really excited that the end is actually in sight. I am from Elk Grove, California, which is a city outside of Sacramento, the state's capital. Elk Grove is also part of Sacramento County, which is incredibly large and encompasses multiple cities. Elk Grove is the second largest, which I didn't know. However, I thought our population was way bigger than it actually is. It's 173,000 people as of last year, which may sound like a lot, but when you're actually living in the city of Elk Grove, you think that there's way more than that. I thought that overall the community scan project was incredibly informative. And I think one of the reasons is because I've never really dived deep into the demographics of my city. So not only was I constantly learning new things, but it was really interesting to do that. Some of the data that I was able to come up with was things like poverty. So the people living in poverty in Elk Grove equates to 8.8%. Which is about a little over 15,000 people of the 173 that we have. One thing that I found incredibly shocking was that 4,965 of the people living in poverty are children. And that was really surprising to me. But then as I dived deeper, I saw that women between the age of 24 and 35 also make up a large portion of that poverty scale. And so it would make sense, if most of those women have children, they also live in poverty. So I thought that was interesting. Another thing that I found interesting and I was actually really pleased with was that 91% of people have high school diplomas in the city of Elk Grove, which is, that's a really good percent. And I think that would have to go hand in hand with the median income being relatively high. I know it's a lot higher than the state of California as a whole. So per person median income is $62,171. And then per household was $90,770. I would say that Elk Grove is really a city made up of mostly families and working parents. So I think that the median income kind of makes sense in a sense. One thing that I can say I disliked hearing was that the median income for men is about $12,000 higher than it is for women. And I'm really interested in doing more research just to kind of figure out why that is. So that's something I didn't really like, but it is what it is. The connection to the significance of empathy and social enterprise that I made when doing the community scan was through the article or the research that Martin and Osberg wrote. It says in here on page 36 that there are two primary forms of socially valuable activity, and the first type is social venture. And that is when a courageous and committed individual identifies an unfortunate stable equilibrium and they set up a program to address it. In this case, for me, it would be those, over 4,000 children who are living in poverty. I would want to be an innovator and figure out a way to get them and their mothers out of poverty. And I think that with social enterprise and empathy and the right people around me, we could definitely do that in a city like Elk Grove. And the impact that it would have would be tremendous, because then it would show the surrounding cities, which are much more impacted with poverty than we are, that, hey, if you have people step up, if you have people showing empathy, who care, who want to make a change, you can actually make that change. So overall, I thought the community scan was a great activity. Thought it was really beneficial, especially for someone like me who wants to be a teacher. Gives you insight on the demographics that you're working with. And I think that it would be useful for really anyone to use.